Number 4, reducing your stimulants. So in a nutritional world, I'm thinking about refined sugars and I'm thinking about caffeine. So these are the 2 things I'd really like you to try and work on reducing over the next 5 days and seeing how you feel. So we often become that we get to a stage where we are reliant upon these refined sugars and caffeine to pull us through the day. If you're one of those people that finds that, I can't make it through the day, through the morning without a coffee, and then I might need some in the afternoon to pick me up again, then really we're using them as a crutch, and that's not a healthy place to be. We want to get to a point where you're able to balance your energy levels through the nutritional choices that you make and through some of the mindfulness that you're going to be putting in other techniques as well to help you to be able to do that without the need for those stimulants. So refined sugars include things like the chocolate, the biscuits, any sort of sweets, sugary drinks. That's all refined sugar. Processed foods have all got refined sugar in them. So instead, I like you to focus on having more of the natural sugars, so fresh fruits, dried fruits, and also thinking about putting in some of the other macronutrients that I talked about earlier with regards to breakfast and blood sugar balance. So choosing snacks that are slow release, things like oat cakes, and choosing to put protein in with your snacks can really, again, help to regulate that blood sugar levels and help you to manage those dips in energy without having to reach for those high sugar foods and the caffeine. Okay, so putting in some oat cakes with nut butter or a few nuts and seeds with your banana will really help to regulate and slow down the release of sugar into the blood. Caffeine, we're all different in terms of how well we're able to process caffeine, and you might be somebody who tolerates a high amount and you might be someone who just can't tolerate it at all. So again, we're all at different levels, and I want you to think about where you are at the moment. But what I'd like you to do is have a go at cutting down the amount of caffeinated drinks that you're having. So that includes your tea and your coffee, and also energy drinks that often people are choosing to have as well. So if you want to try and think about maybe cutting it down by around 50% if you can this week and see how that feels. So if you're having 8 drinks, trying to cut it down to 4. If you're having 4, cutting it down to 2, but see what was comfortable for you. I'm not going to lie, if you're somebody who does rely on caffeine quite a lot, reducing it can be quite difficult, and often you can feel a little bit worse before you feel better. But bear with yourself, it really does make a difference. If you can get into that point where you are reliant less on caffeine and you're having more of the water that we talked about at the beginning of the session, you will start to feel a really big difference. So what you can do instead of having caffeinated drinks is to increase your water intake, increase your herbal tea content, and thinking about maybe even having some green tea. So green tea does have caffeine in it, but there's so many amazing antioxidants in green tea that is something that I'd be happy for you to replace it with. So if you feel like you still need a bit of a pick-me-up, go for the green tea instead of the coffee.